my second attempt at doing a thrift store art and making it pop, making it pretty. First of all, with this one here, there's a lot of things I want to share with you that I don't like, but let me take it out of the frame first. We'll take that out of the frame. It's on a panel. That way I won't get any paint on the pretty frame. Okay, let's see if we can get this closer. Okay. Now here are the things that I don't like about it, that I want to change. Okay, let's go over here. Okay, so it's all one value. There is no variety. There is hardly any dark anywhere. It's all the same. There's no texture in it. There is no variety of much difference in value. Excuse me. You can't even really tell that that's a basket. You can't really tell which way the sun is coming from, because the only thing that's highlighted is her knees, and that probably would be highlighted no matter which direction the sun was coming from. I don't like that her face is so simple and plain. There's so much more contouring that you can do on the face. And the glasses, I'm going to make them, I think I'm going to make them dark. And then, especially this here, I'm going to bring the water, the ocean, all the way up to the top here. And I'm going to add a lot more value in it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add value in it, a bigger amount of value. I'm going to add a lot of dark contouring in her skin. There's not hardly anything here. I'm going to make this into a communion picture. I'm going to make this basket into a loaf of bread. Let's see how that works. I'm going to make this into red wine for communion. I'm going to add some texture into the sand and some texture into her hat, and change the color a little bit of her blanket that she's laying on. So here goes. Let's start with the water first. I'm going to start with the blue here. So it's pretty close to that, blue and white. And then I'm going to start adding variety to it. Okay, because it's right now it's pretty boring. Let's add some white here. I'm going to add some waves with it. Okay. Shouldn't try to talk so loud, because when I do I have to clear my throat. Okay, so I'm going to start off with that. I add water because it helps spread it, and it's acrylics. It dries super duper fast. Oh look, I think maybe the sun was supposed to be right there. And let's see here. See how quickly that changes just by adding that little bit? Okay, so put more around the hat. Okay, so now I'm going to add some little bit of variety in color, keeping it pretty simple. Okay, add some a little bit of white. Let's change to a smaller brush. So not only are we going to add white, we're going to add the water coming up on the beach. It ends too abruptly right there. See, water doesn't just end like that. It has to come in waves and splashes. Okay, I'm going to add some variety of color. In the waves here, let's add a different blue here. Well, there it is. Okay. Add a little bit of darkness into there. And I think I'm going to add a touch of green in there too, because the ocean isn't just one color. Okay, let's add a touch of I like to use paper towels a lot of times to blend things. Some things you just don't want to blend though. Okay, so you see how just adding a little bit of color there makes it pop more. So add some. Okay. Add a suggestion of a wave. Just a little suggestion. There, let me add a little bit of touches of greens. How about some blue and green mix, some aqua color. Some blue and green, a little bit of white. Let's add some of that. So now I think I'm probably done. I don't know if you can see that on the top here. Let's bring it closer here. See if you can see that texture. Okay, now I'm gonna do a little bit of texturing on her hat. Let's see. Oh, I think I need a little bit more. Right where the wave's coming down, I think we need a little bit more. It dries so fast when you're working with acrylics. Okay. Now I think I'm going to work with the hat. Adding some little bit of texture on the hat there. Okay. Let's add some texture into her hair. The sun is coming from this direction, so that means that it's going to be darker back here than it is. Excuse me. Let's see if we can blend that a little bit. Didn't want it quite that dark. Sometimes you gotta wipe the brush off. There. While we're at it, let's get a little bit of contouring in her arm. And you notice that her fingers are wrapped around and you can't really tell that they're fingers there. She has a little bit of sunburn or suntan on her shoulders there. Let's add a tiny bit of red because she's been out in the sun. Just a little bit of red on her knees too. Skin right here, and a little bit of red bottom of her feet. We're going to change this and definitely change this into, we're going to have some red wine for communion. We'll come back to that cup later. Let's work on the sand a bit. I'm going to change the sand and make it a little bit more sandy looking. Add a little bit of texture to it by adding variety to the value of the sand. Going to add a little bit of different color to it too. Let's add a little bit more texture into that sand. A light brownish yellow. Do a little bit of dry brushing. She didn't have any texture at all in the sand. It was all one color. Okay. Let me add a little bit of, let's add a little tiny bit of highlights on that hat. Because like I said, the sun is coming from this direction. So let's add a little highlight on that hat. When do you ever see white shorts out on the beach? Put a little bit of sand on the blanket. Okay, I think I'll highlight her hair a tiny bit too. like the sand. I like water. This is going to have to turn into a loaf of bread. Never did a loaf of bread before, so I'm not sure how that's going to happen. I'm going to get rid of those lines that suggest that it's a basket, and make it more like a loaf of bread. Loaves of bread usually have cracks in them, so I'm making some cracks in my bread. Okay, and we're going to have to add some white. Add a tiny bit of white. I don't know if that passes the bread test or not. Maybe if I put a dish under it or something. We'll just leave it like that for now. Okay, let's work on the purple creases and stuff here. Okay, she should have a bit more contouring. On her. Don't be afraid of those dark streaks. You want a variety of lines. You want lines that blend. You want lines that are sharp. But let's add a little bit of purple to our Okay, now I'm satisfied with her. Her face needs some contouring. Let's do some pink cheeks and some white. pink from being in the sun. Add some white highlights. Add a little bit around her face. Definitely do not like her glasses. Let's make them darker. Maybe a gray. Shackle under her neck. Okay. Chin should be a little bit more white. And my white is dry already. A little bit of white. There, I like her face better. It's more contoured. And touch of white on her lip. Okay. Okay, now I think the only thing I want to change a little bit more is the blanket. And I don't know if you saw the before picture when I started compared to now. This has a lot more depth to it. Let's see. Yeah, let's work on that blanket a little bit. There it is. Okay, it looks like it's a red blanket. Let's make it a little bit more. Let's add a little bit more depth to it. We'll keep it red, but we'll add a little variety to it. hasn't messed up and wrinkled up by her foot. And I'm using a little bit of water now to help it spread a little bit. A little bit of reflection on the glass. A little bit of a shadow there from the glass, actually more like a reflection. And same thing with her body over here. Want to make it a little bit darker. And I'm just about out of that red. Okay, now let's add a little bit of gray shadow here. Oh, wait, let's see if I can add some of this more pinky flesh tone. Okay, well, shadow. That's what I was working on. Let's just do a dark brown shadow. Okay. Make her a little bit dirty. There. Okay, there is the lady on the beach having communion. And I think I'm done. I don't know who this artist is, so I can't give him credit. I think I did everything I was planning on doing. And now it has a lot more variety of color, value, depth. So that's it. For today. I hope that was a blessing. Talk to you later.